Hey everybody, and welcome to Don't Copy That Floppy. I'm your host Lex.
I'm the other one, Dan. Dan.
Sorry for the slight late start tonight. We realized that Chipit has undergone some site maintenance stuff, and they changed some of their
password
thingies, and we forgot that they had.
So it took us some time to get connected to the actual server.
We were like, we can't connect, what's going on? So for those of you listening for the first time, or if you're a returning listener, and I'm looking at you, Monopoly.
That guy? We know you listen.
Thanks for tuning in to Don't Copy That Floppy. We are a online video game news and sometimes review podcast. Dan, tell me some more about our lovely show.
We talk about video games. We talk about them weekly when we can. We talk about all sorts of things. Kickstarters, new games coming out, drama in the industry, drama only kind of related to the industry, numerous kinds of drama. You can find us on Facebook, Don't Copy That Floppy. You can get us on Twitter at DCTF Podcast. And you can also find us as Don't Copy That Floppy on Steam, where we have a little Steam curator group. You can follow us all over the place. And we have an iTunes, too, that you can subscribe to and download the show.
Download those new episodes.
You can just listen to it on the ChipBit website as well, chipbit.net. And you can come chat with us, too. We're live every time we record, usually. So you can hop in and chat with us during the show.
Yeah, if you're listening to us live, or if you're listening to a recording of us, but it just happens to be Friday night,
between 9 to 10.
Between 9 to 10 Eastern Standard Time.
Why don't you come and say hey?
Yeah. Log into the chat. Cool guy Dan is going to be in there.
That's me.
As Dan.
I'm the cool guy.
In case you weren't sure.
In case you weren't sure. So what are we talking about this week?
Oh, man.
There's a lot.
Yeah. We're
because we didn't have a show last week either. So we're playing a little bit of catch up.
Dang. So we're going to talk about...
We always talk about Kickstarter.
We always talk... Yeah, for the last freaking 12 episodes, we've talked about Kickstarter. So we have a segment about a failed Kickstarter that makes me cry inside.
Yeah, because we talked about how hyped you were for it.
I was so hyped.
In a different episode, a few episodes ago.
This is so sad to me. But we've also got a new game that's been announced that sounds really cool, has spaceships in it. We've got some news about League of Legends.
And other MMOs as well. A little bit of stuff about another certain MMO that's not doing as well as League of Legends.
Yes. Also,
I want to talk a little bit about this Hatred game. Not a lot. I just want to mention it because it's got some stuff going on.
Also, another convention that you can go to.
Yes.
Another one.
Tons of news about Smash Brothers.
So much.
Because there was a direct on Thursday, the 23rd. There was a Nintendo Direct just for the Wii U version of Super Smash Bros. Entitled 50 Facts about Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. And the whole Direct was just them listing off things that were in the game.
Yep.
It was pretty good.
We got some Dark Souls.
We got some stuff about the Master Chief.
Oh, the Master.
And his collection.
Mr. Chef is caught around.
Mr. Chef, the hero of Halo. The hero of everyone's favorite title, Ola. Senor Chef.
Monsieur Chef.
And a little bit. We're trying. So this whole GamerGate controversy is going on right now. We're trying to kind of not talk too much about it because it's being talked to death everywhere else.
If you mean not talk too much, you mean also avoid the
plague. I do want to talk about a little thing related to it today that's just kind of sad, and it's kind of like people need to pay more attention to what they're yelling at.
Another casualty of
another
Gamergate.
Innocent casualty of Gamergate.
Jesus.
And yeah, if we're not talking about Gamergate, I'm going to get this rid of this article, but we can bring it up if we want to. So anyway, what's the Kickstarter game that didn't get funded?
Oh.
Tell us about your woes.
Okay, so in a previous episode, I talked about, I think in our last episode, right? Or it might have been the episode before that.
I think it was the one before that.
Okay.
Yeah.
They announced a Kickstarter for this game called Human Resources.
Yes.
Now, this was from the guys who made Planetary Annihilation, which had been an extremely successfully funded Kickstarter couple years back. They made the game, they released it on Steam, everybody loved it on Steam.
And they put up a new Kickstarter. Trying their luck a second go around.
They had some really awesome talent working on it, like some guys that had worked on the Command and Conquer series pretty extensively.
And they had good stuff to show.
Yeah, they had some amazing stuff to show. The graphic style had this really cool cell shading.
It looked good.
The environments were destructible. It was a real-time strategy game.
Yeah.
And the premise was that human resources, you're not working in an office building.
You're eating people.
So you would have played as an apocalypse faction, either Cthulhu monsters or giant robots. And been collecting humans to fuel your doomsday scenario of choice. Instead of mining minerals or Vespian gas,
and fighting each other.
You collect humans and then you fight each other.
Yeah.
And man, this game looked so cool. But unfortunately, despite a lot of press,
they were asking for a lot of money for this. Wasn't it $1.4 million or something along those lines? Yeah.
Now, and I think part of the reason they were asking that was because this looks like a really polished AAA title from the stuff that they showed. So that's how much those titles cost. But also, that's how much they made for Planetary Annihilation. I think they only asked for $1 million, but they made like 1.4, 1.5.
Right, so they thought that this was a possibility.
Yeah. And they probably still did set their sights a little too high.
Right.
But it was sort of more reasonable for them to do that.
Yeah.
So it didn't work out so well. They actually had, in one of their updates, they had a little graph on their Kickstarter.
And the Kickstarter didn't end. They ended it themselves early.
Correct.
Because they were like, we're not going to reach our goal. They could tell.
And they did that. They had a couple of different updates where they were like, oh, we're in trouble, we got to do a media push and all this stuff. Yeah. And I think one of the last ones was they showed a graph and they were like, okay, this is how much we've raised, and like this is the amount we really need to raise to actually hit our goal by the time the time runs out and stuff. And it was very bleak.
Yeah.
There's like this whole equation with Kickstarters where you have to, with the way most of them get funded, they will earn a certain percentage of their total in the first week, and then a percentage of that number their second, and a smaller percentage their third.
Generally speaking.
Because it tapers off. So, in Human Resources' first week, they didn't earn the percentage they were looking for. They like almost did. But then in the second week, their donations fell off to like almost nothing.
Right.
And they got really worried, so I think at the end of the second week, they did a big advertising push, which got their numbers back up to where they needed to be for like a weekend, and then they plummeted back down again, and they just couldn't keep them. They couldn't keep people interested.
Well, they gracefully canceled it. They did a better job handling this than some other failed Kickstarters we've seen.
Yes!
I wasn't going to name them even. I was just going to name Night Trap.
Night Trap?
Because, I mean, Night Trap failed and didn't make a lot of money, but it was a lot of weirdness around Night Trap's failure.
Yeah, if you go to the Night Trap
all I'm saying is that the guys who, did Human Resources didn't, yell at Nintendo in this weird, seemingly drunken rage, only to turn around and be like, we'd love to put our game on the Wii U.
If you go back to Night Trap Revamped, because I'm pretty sure you can still look at their Kickstarter even though it's over, because that's how most Kickstarters
their updates were all over the place.
Yeah, their updates were nuts.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why we covered it on the show every week.
I mean, they were crazy enough to pay, $200,000 for the rights to Night Trap? So I think they were a bit unhinged to begin with.
Yeah, jeez.
No, these guys did a really good... Uber Entertainment did a really good job.
That was the name of it. Can you pull up that Kickstarter also? Yeah. Just because I want to check it out.
Oh, no, this is a different article. The Kickstarter has been canceled. Yeah, I mean, they did it really well. They're like, our Kickstarter failed, but they don't seem to... They're not just like, no one cared enough. They're not blaming their backers. They're not being jerks about it. They're just like, it didn't work.
They ended up, so they won $1.4 million. They got to 384,000.
Yep.
With almost 10,000 backers, which is still a ton of people.
They do say that the game envisioned in this Kickstarter is probably never going to happen. But they do mention at the end of this that they really like the idea of it, and they will try to do what they can to bring it to life in some form. So we may see a significantly lower budget version of this game at some point. But time will tell at this point, it seems like.
Well, what I think is sort of interesting about this, and what I'm actually wondering why they did this Kickstarter, because, they did the Kickstarter for Planetary Annihilation because they were an unknown studio, right? And that makes sense to me. But then Planetary Annihilation was not only a very successful Kickstarter, but has been a very successfully selling game.
Yeah.
So you'd think that when they want to make Human Resources, they could take that concept to a big publisher, and they could get funding for it.
Maybe they will try doing that.
Maybe they will, and maybe they tried to do that before they tried this Kickstarter, and it didn't work.
Well, maybe they'll try again.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So, yeah, I still sort of have that glimmer of hope that maybe this game will happen, but...
Right.
There's the little graph.
Look
at those numbers fall off.
Oof.
Hot diggity.
Hot diggity indeed.
Yeah.
That's rough.
That first day they did so well, and then day 2 they did like half.
Yeah, they almost hit 125,000 in a day. That's good. Good for them. So that is a shame. But it seems like other games such as No Pineapple Left Behind will unfortunately miss their Kickstarter target too.
Oh no.
This is
looking forward to that
a teacher
game.
management sim where all the students have been turned into pineapples.
Well, yeah, obviously. That makes that title really funny.
R.I.P. and pineapples. No pineapple left behind.
See, I was gonna say R.I.P. and pepperoni's Human Resources, but you thought of
Oh no, I ruined your gag. I'm sorry.
This always happens.
This always happens.
This is like story of my life with Dan.
Tell us about Rebel Galaxy.
Rebel Galaxy!
I'm sorry I ruined your gags.
Okay, so I have an interesting point to make about Rebel Galaxy. Also I should note, the Human Resources story was from an article in Destructoid on October 21st.
Whereas this article is from Polygon on October 14th.
One of our favorite publications.
Except for their Bayonetta 2 review.
Except for the Bayonetta 2 review.
What a crock that was.
They're the New York Times of video gaming. And I don't know what Destructoid is.
They're fine.
They're like the USA Today of video games.
They're like the weird uncle of video game websites. I like them.
Article from Polygon for October 14th. This is a big feature that they did. It's actually really long. It's got a lot to it. You should go check it out. It's super interesting. It is on a game called Rebel Galaxy.
Now, this is not a Kickstarter title.
No, this is just a game.
This is just a game they're making.
It's gonna be made.
By the guys who said use Torchlight?
Diablo and Torchlight.
Diablo and Torchlight.
Yes.
Okay.
So, this is a super cool looking game. Watch the trailer. It's in this article. You can also probably find it on YouTube.
Right.
And the point of the game is it's got a very sort of Western feel. It actually seems a lot like Firefly.
Looking at the screenshots gives me that sort of vibe.
Yeah, and the game is pretty much just about getting a ship, making sure you have the right crew for it, and outfitting it with cool weapons and stuff.
Space strategy RPG.
Just getting into dogfights in space.
Seems cool to me.
Graphics.
Yeah.
There is, all the trailer just shows off the gameplay. It looks really cool. And it shows off some conversational elements of talking to people for mission stuff and whatever.
Right.
But it's I'm sure it's going to be good.
Yes.
Because of the guys that are working on it and how much experience they have in the industry and how good their games have been.
Yeah.
But it's very, very different than the games they've made in the past.
Yeah, this article mentions that actually. I'm skimming it as you talk about it.
So, like we said, in the past they made stuff like Diablo, they made Hellgate London, they made Torchlight.
Hellgate London did not do well.
It did not do well. Oh, no.
The game had a lot of problems.
But they have a lot of industry experience. They've made some really good games.
Yeah.
And they're most...
No, I'm not taking Hellgate London as a mark of their quality here.
But those games have almost all been RPGs.
Yes.
And this is pretty much not an RPG. There's nothing in the trailer that indicates that it's got any kind of leveling up system. I mean, you outfit your ship, so there's probably going to be some sort of item management kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it doesn't seem like it's going to be anything like an RPG. So it's very different territory for them. And I feel like they can handle it because they've done really good work more often than not.
Right.
But one of the things that really interests me about this is the fact that the studio that's making this game is another studio they started called Double Damage Games. Now, if I hadn't seen this article and the title of it that mentions that the dudes who made Diablo and Torchlight were making this, and I just saw this game trailer for, like, look at this space combat game from Double Damage Games, I would have looked at it and been like, I mean, that looks kind of cool, whatever, and probably never looked at it again. Because, like, the trailer does look cool, but I don't think it looks phenomenal. A lot of the hope I have for this is because the guys who are working on it I know make good stuff.
Right.
So, it's weird to me, though, because both these guys, to make Double Damage Games, left to the company Runic Games, which is what they founded to make Torchlight and Torchlight 2.
Okay.
So
what's that company doing?
I guess that company is just going to hang out and make more RPGs, but they've just lost, like, their founders and main talent.
That's bizarre.
It is bizarre. That's what I'm getting at with
Like, that's very, very strange.
Like, why...
Why did they have to leave that studio
Yeah,
to make
why
this?
didn't they just have Runic Games make this?
Yeah.
Like, maybe they would, like, fire some people and hire some new people to mix their staff up for making this new game, and they didn't want to do that? I don't know. But it seems like in the interviews that they do in this article, they started the new company partially because of their brand.
Right.
Right? So they're associated with RPGs, and they made Runic, and Runic has made Torchlight 2, which have been super successful, so now Runic is associated with RPGs.
Right.
So they didn't want to make it at Runic because people expect RPGs from Runic.
Right.
And that kind of makes sense, but at the same time, I know Runic is the company that those two dudes started.
Right.
So when I see Double Damage Games, I don't associate it with them. So
you're just like, this is some new studio.
This is some random studio. So I have less faith in the product. Whereas if they were just like making this game, this spaceship game as Runic, I would be like, oh, that's a different direction for Runic. But I know the guys who work there are really talented, so I'm going to check it out. So it's weird to me because it feels like they've sacrificed like a bunch of notoriety, and I guess it's good that this Polygon article points out that it's them.
Yeah,
because if it did,
because other people, I'm sure, would never have made the connection,
unless like you dig and then you'll you would recognize their names and stuff like that. But at first glance, if that wasn't in the title, like I wouldn't know. Right. Because I don't remember these guys' names. I can't keep track of all these game developers.
Schafer, just like Tim Schafer.
Yeah, Tim Schafer. I mean, he's the one game developer that, like, I'll recognize his name. Because he's done so many good videos that are just, like, him doing funny things. Yeah. That I'm like, gosh, Tim Schafer, that guy.
So
I think it's weird.
It is bizarre. Hopefully the game will be good.
It looks cool.
Like, it looks cool.
I feel like
Torchlight wasn't particularly expensive, was it? Well, that wasn't like a $20 game?
Yeah, those were like $20 games.
Yeah, so I'm assuming this will be a similar sort of thing.
Hopefully.
Or like an affordable little fun game. Because Torchlight you could get a lot of gameplay time out of.
Oh, definitely. With the randomly generated dungeons and everything.
Provided there's enough content in this, I think as long as the gameplay's well designed, it'll do fine, I think. Mm-hmm. People like, there's a big market for games like this, actually. I mean, look at No Man's Sky, which is on the way out at some point.
No Man's Sky.
Very similar kind of thing. Probably more expansive, I would assume. Yeah. But similar. Tons of people are excited about No Man's Sky. So clearly, like, these kind of, you get your spaceship and you go into space and you do space stuff. Games are, like, people want these. I want these.
Remember Escape Velocity?
Do I?
Do I?
I can't forget all the deliveries I made in that game.
And when you'd overshoot stuff and be like,
oh no, my inertia. It was the best. I played the shareware of that so much. But yeah, I mean, that kind of thing, people just like it. I don't know why. There's always a big market for it. So, let's talk about some MMOs. Let's talk about how League of Legends is upending the video game business. This is from October 24th, today, on Polygon.
So explain to me, I haven't checked out this article yet, so how is it upending?
This company called Superdata has been doing market research on Riot Games' multiplayer online battle game League of Legends. Everybody knows League of Legends at this point, for better or worse. And its success it's so successful that it's apparently heavily impacting gaming as a whole. In the global MMO market, this is a quote from the article, 1 in every $8 spent goes to Riot and its international partners via League of Legends players.
Wow.
Like, they have a 12% share of the global MMO market. Like, whoa.
Hey, World of Tanks comes in number 5. Good for them.
Good for them. Good for them. Right after World of Warcraft. Then there's Crossfire at number 2, which I don't know. And I don't know Dungeon Fighter Online either. I know Maple Story at 6. I know Lineage at 7. Counter-Strike makes sense. Yeah. Dota 2 at 9. And Hearthstone at 10.
Dota 2...
hurting compared to League of Legends.
8 slots behind the game that it is the
direct
exact same game of.
Yeah.
So I think we can definitively say that Dota just does the same thing but worse.
Yeah, pretty much. And please don't smash us with comments, Dota players. Whoa. So, League of Legends has generated $946 million so far in 2014. Jeez. So, I'm
actually interested in the fact that Hearthstone is on
so
that
high
list.
Up.
Because just Hearthstone is like, for one thing, you never have to pay anything to play it at all, but it just always seemed like a little casual side thing that Blizzard did, so I didn't realize it was such a moneymaker for them, which is good.
Yeah. So the other thing here is that the worldwide MMO market is, like, growing big time. Yeah. It's on track to be $11 billion for the whole market this year, $13 billion for next year. So that's like a big difference, even just year to year.
Yeah,
like, you're going up $2 billion? Jeez.
Oh, where's this article from? I'm sorry.
This is Polygon.
And this is from today?
Today, yeah.
I think you did say this.
I did say that, yeah. Don't worry about it. So, and all, like, in total of all of this, League of Legends, even in its own, like, just genre, it is growing, it grew its, like, share from 16% to 24% in the past year. Like, just within MOBA games and everything. So this thing's out of control.
It's out of control.
Now. It's out of control. It's crazy. They've seen spectacular growth, quote unquote, into countries like Turkey, Brazil, Russia, and, of course, Asia overall. Keeps being, like, a huge, huge, huge thing. So, I find the thing I actually find most interesting about this is how you hear the MMO market and you think World of Warcraft, you think EverQuest, even though that's old at this point, The Old Republic, like all these games that are MMO RPGs.
Yeah. But you don't think of MOBAs.
I at least don't usually think of MOBAs, much less think of MOBAs as being the primary market shareholders.
Well, here's the
and
weird
most
thing,
popular individual elements of this whole genre.
MMO is massively
multiplayer online, whatever.
But a MOBA, how
multiplayer
many people
online battle arena.
Yeah. But how many people are in a match in a MOBA?
I don't know because I've never played League of Legends.
MOBAs either.
I want to say it's like 8 players.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking too.
It's teams of 3 or 4. I want to say.
So, I don't actually know if by that logic they qualify as MMOs, because the whole point of MMOs is it's a game world and everyone's in it. But
at the same time, it's something that definitely spawned from that.
No, they spawned from RTSs.
Well, they spawned from RTSs, but it's I don't know. Somehow it's very connected still, and maybe it's the Warcraft into World of Warcraft, making it still kind of associated with League of Legends and stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
Because League of Legends basically came off of those, like, custom maps in Warcraft 3, where you played as, like, a hero character in an arena.
You know what I just
realized? That's League of Legends.
You know what I just... Yeah. No, I knew that. But you know what I just realized? This probably burns Blizzard up so bad.
Oh, probably.
Because the most lucrative online game was created within one of their games.
Within one of their games. And then, like, extrapolate on. And honestly, like... Man, if you just look at, like, the art design and everything from, like, League of Legends stuff, it just looks like it belongs in Warcraft.
Oh, it totally does.
Like, it's, like, the same thing. Then again, Warcraft basically ripped off Warhammer. So, as far as art direction and stuff goes. So it's all very... It's all a very big gray area, kind of, here. But yeah... I just thought this article was interesting because I knew that League of Legends was successful, but I did not know it was this successful. in the grand scheme of things, and was continuing to become even more successful.
See, I knew that it was the most watched game in the terms of like the tournaments it holds generate tons of revenue and tons of people tune in. And I guess I should have assumed, based on that it was also just being played the most.
Right.
Because that would make sense. But yeah, I still didn't assume that it was generating as much.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge. And I mean, we've talked before about like esports and everything, and how that's a growing market. So like, if that continues on the rise, then League of Legends is probably going to continue to rise right along with it, because it's the biggest esport around right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's not going to change just because it gets esports become more of a thing. If anything, it'll just make League of Legends even more popular as long as Riot Games keeps like working on it.
You know what I think is really interesting about esports is when they were first, when that term first being used, I heard it in association a lot with like competitive, the Halo, and Battlefields.
Competitive the Halo
and Battlefields, and we see on that list Counter-Strike, but no other first-person shooters are on that list at all.
No.
So clearly, like, that is not what gamers are gaming for esports.
I can't help but feel like most of the people who still play Counter-Strike are the same people who played Counter-Strike when it was huge, who just didn't let go of it.
Oh, definitely.
Like, that's the primary Counter-Strike market right now. Like, and it has, I feel like it hasn't really gotten... we got a guy in the... he left. Guy in the chat to tell us that he's League of Legends Master Race. I feel like Counter-Strike probably does not get many new players often compared to some of these other games. It's a lot of people who've been playing Counter-Strike forever.
Yeah, I think that game has a lot of player loyalty in the same way that like EverQuest does.
Yeah, definitely. And Team Fortress 2 also has a big and very loyal fan base. So while we're on the topic of massively multiplayer online dealies, let's talk about a game that was not on that top 10 list. As far as money goes. Nowhere near it. WildStar, the little game that couldn't.
Oh no. It hasn't... Okay,
it's not done or anything.
So this is an article from Polygon from October 23rd.
Yes.
And the headline is WildStar developer lays off 60 further cuts at NCSoft.
Yes. So NCSoft owns Carbine Studios, which are the guys who made the recent MMO WildStar, sci-fi MMO that looked pretty neat. I didn't actually play it, but it looked cool. I just don't play MMOs anymore. I used to. And they laid off 60 employees, which I believe you said is what, like a fifth of their total staff? Or something to that effect?
Quoting the article, the studio reportedly lost over 60 members of its team of a few hundred. A few hundred. Okay, so that's about like, 300 in theory. So that's like a major percentage of your staff.
Yeah. And this is across all levels, not just like the less senior people, too.
Yeah, because I originally saw the title of that and I thought, oh, well, 60, whatever. Right. And then I realized, no, wait, this is a much smaller group of people than I thought it was.
Right.
So, yeah, it's we
know... Oh, excuse me. We know that WildStar has not been doing terribly well, in general, compared to most other MMOs out on the market right now. Or I shouldn't say most, but compared to many other MMOs on the market right now. It released with some fanfare, and a lot of people picked it up, and its subscriber base rapidly fell off, from what I understand.
Yeah, like, the people that I know who played it, I remember asking them, because they were, like, in the I want to say beta or something, before the game came out, and they had really been excited about it, and then it came out, that day they were like making sure they could get home to play it when the servers went up.
Yeah.
And then a couple weeks later, I asked them about it, or maybe like 2 months later, some amount of time, and their response was, "Yeah, like it's okay."
It wasn't a very long amount. It wasn't much time.
Yeah.
Afterwards,
and so like they weren't unhappy with it, but that sort of excitement
it was
and need
lukewarm.
To play it.
It was really lukewarm, and they all went back to like League of Legends.
Because everybody goes back to League of Legends.
Apparently. So NCSoft, in their statement about this, said that they are going to be continuing their focus on core development capabilities and IPs, like WildStar, Ion, Lineage, and Guild Wars.
Guild Wars.
So they did still say that they're going to continue working on WildStar, but the scaling back of Carbine Studios definitely shows that they are not going to be putting as much into it, I don't think. Has that game gone free to play? Or is it still a subscription?
You know what? I'm a bad journalist because I did not do the research.
Yeah, me neither, now that I think of it. Because the Old Republic went free to play, and it's been doing great.
Yeah.
Because of it.
It's not in the top 10, but it still does pretty well.
I'm wondering if WildStar will do the same at some point in the near future. But I just don't know. I haven't heard anybody...
It's still subscription, says one of our listeners in our chat.
Oh, yes. Thank you, listener. You're the best. You're a better journalist than us.
But hey, did you just tune in? Are you really confused? Why are we talking about WildStar? You don't play WildStar.
Nobody does.
Nobody does. You're listening to Don't Copy That Floppy, an online video game news podcast with your hosts Lex and Dan. We are every week live from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. on chipbit.net. You can go to chipbit.net, listen live on the site, or you can download a playlist file, listen live in iTunes or Winamp, I believe.
Yeah, Winamp.
Winamp.
Everybody's favorite.
Program of Kings.
DJ Llama.
DJ Llama. Dude. Oh, that llama. I don't even remember the slogan, but it was
I don't remember it either.
It was not...
It's something about a llama's butt.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
But yeah, so you can find us in a plethora of different places. You can either check out our show archive on chipbit.net. We've got all the episodes on there. You can listen to them and download them. You can check out our show archive on iTunes. Just search for Don't Copy That Floppy under podcasts. You can find us on lots of social media, including Facebook,
Twitter,
DCTF Podcast on Twitter.
Oh, yes.
That's important to know.
Yeah.
Just because it's... On Facebook, it's just Don't Copy That Floppy. But, what was the other one?
Steam, you big silly.
We have a Steam group.
We do. What's it called?
It's called Don't Copy That Floppy.
Shocker.
Also, it has an abbreviation, which is DCTF Podcast.
You notice? Is everybody noticing the pattern?
Double shocker.
Double shocker. Yeah. So we're all over the place. Also, our nice friend in the chat has told us that League of Legends is 5 versus 5, and most MOBA games are 5 versus 5.
That makes sense.
But it does have a 3 versus 3 mode. But nobody cares.
Because 3 versus 3 is for chumps.
Yeah, right?
That's not how real men play.
No. Absolutely not. So moving on. Here's something.
Do you feel angry?
I do. I'm feeling...
Do you feel hatred?
I do feel hatred. I feel a lot of hatred for this article.
Did you see how great that segue was?
It was super good.
It was so smooth.
There
was nothing awkward about it at all.
No. So, for anybody who doesn't know, I'll be reading from an article on Polygon from the 21st of October. And for anyone who did not catch it, a game was announced earlier this week, entitled Hatred, by a Polish studio, Destructive Creations. Oh, that's their name.
Oh my god. That's almost as bad as that studio, what were they called? Toxic? But they were spelled really silly.
No, that's the name of the game.
Oh, it's the name of the game. But their studio was also similarly silly.
Yeah, or maybe that isn't the name of the game, but the name of the game is similarly
Toxic spelled with an S and 2 Ks.
And X's everywhere. Multiple X's. Hatred...
Destiny 420 XX.
Hatred is a isometric view third-person shooter in black and white, in which you play as Nathan Explosion from Metalocalypse in a trench coat. Not actually, but that's basically what he looks like. He really is just what he looks like. And you get a bunch of guns and knives and bombs and all whatnot, and you run around and you just murder people. You just murder innocent people. That's all. That's the whole game.
So I think it's interesting that it's top-down.
Yes.
Because you don't see that as much. The one game where you did...
Good design choice, Destructive Creation.
Well, what's interesting, though, is with the game that you do see that in, where there's a lot of murdering and blood and gore, and it's top-down, is Hotline Miami.
That is true.
But Hotline Miami is nothing like this, because Hotline Miami is fun, and this doesn't look fun
It doesn't look fun. The trailer, frankly, gameplay-wise, the trailer makes it look boring. Morally speaking, the game is in very poor taste. And the time it is being released, when there's all this hubbub in the gaming industry and all these things people are getting up in arms about, it's like, this is just a terrible time to even, like, announce a game like this. Like, I'm all for creative freedom, you can do whatever the heck you want, but, like, be somewhat, like, sensible about it. Like, announcing this game this week just puts it on hot on the heels of everything else that people have been complaining about in the gaming industry lately.
To be fair, and I assume you're referring to Gamergate.
Gamergate and just all of the violent video games cause X things. Because that's been all over the place too.
But to be fair, Gamergate has been going on since August.
Yes.
And it shows no signs of slowing down. Maybe these guys were just like, we don't want to wait anymore.
It's entirely possible. And honestly, from their point of view, and I believe they even, one of the heads of the studio, so they're Polish, so the guy, I probably won't pronounce his name right, CEO of Destructive Creations, Jaroslaw Zielinski.
Swizgard?
Squiskar Squigalf. Jaroslaw, but Mr. Zielinski says in this article, I believe, actually, he's like, some people are calling us attention whores because we are, like, monopolizing, we're putting this out to just grab people's attention and shock people. And he's like, you could put it that way, but we're trying to get the world's attention for our product. And it pretty much worked, because tons of people are talking and complaining about this game now.
There's no such thing as bad publicity.
And that's basically what he's saying. He's like, you can hate our game all you want, but you're just giving us advertising. And he's not wrong. I still think that this game looks bad. And it's just... It's so... The whole game is presented in such an unironic, straight-faced manner that it's kind of embarrassing. It's like, for a long time, people have wanted video games to kind of evolve into more than just violent stuff. And they have been. There's plenty of things out there that aren't that, and it's great. But then you get something like this that just drags it all back down to, like, what all these people who in the past few years have been very wrong about what video games are, mostly. And now this is getting all this press and just proving those people sort of right. It's like, oh, here's a video game that's just murdering innocent people. And... I'm waiting for the Fox News expose on it, because I'm sure it'll be hilarious. But hatred. Oh, it's killing our children. The game is programmed to murder them once they win. Suicide games for kids? ? Find out more at 11. But a lot of people are going crazy condemning this game, and I don't want to come off that way. All I want to say about it is, it looks bad, and I think people should just ignore it. It looks like it's in poor taste. It looks like it is not a particularly interesting game, or has any merits that are worth paying attention to it for. So the only way to make it go away is just ignore it.
You could certainly exercise your opinion with your wallet, right?
Yeah.
So when this game comes out...
just don't buy it.
If nobody buys it...
Don't buy it. Don't talk about it.
Then it's never going to get a sequel, and you'll never have to deal with it again.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, though, to me about this, bringing it back to Hotline Miami...
Yeah.
Is Hotline Miami is, like, really good.
Yeah.
But it's, like, super violent.
It's hyper-violent.
And there's, like... There's some pretty blatant sexism in there.
But it's like...
And it's like...
It's different from this, though, at the same time.
Well, how is it different? Because it's good.
It's a good game, but also you're not just going out and murdering innocent people in Hotline Miami, as far as I know.
You do murder some innocent people, but mostly you murder, like...
Well, this is a game... Let me frame it for anyone who hasn't watched the trailer for Hatred, because you haven't watched the trailer, right? It shows the guy, like, walking into a school and shooting a bunch of kids.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. And just, like, grabbing people on the street and, like, slitting their throats in really gruesome manners. Like, men, women, everybody. And it's just in poor taste.
Yeah.
It's not even like this game is good is why we get past the violence and stuff. Like, there's a limit.
Yeah.
To the point where it's tasteful. Like, in some old games, like, the old Mortal Kombat game, the first one, that it got all that hubbub about the violence. Like, no, who cares? It was super tame and lame and cartoony. Like, old games like Splatterhouse, yeah, maybe you push it a little bit. For the time.
Or like Night Trap,
Night Trap, oh, it's brutal.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Hatred's got nothing on Night Trap.
Got nothing on Night Trap.
Hatred needs a nice theme song like Night Trap.
Oh my god. I hope it gets a theme song exactly like Night Trap.
This has basically become like an opinion piece on our podcast now about Hatred. So my opinion is don't ignore Hatred in every way aside from watching the funny edits people make of the trailer.
Ooh.
Because there are several.
Yeah.
So look those up and laugh at them. Or watch the real trailer and laugh at it. Or just cringe and be embarrassed by it, like me. It just leaves a bad taste in my mouth for a lot of different reasons.
Let's just spit this article out. Move on.
Yeah, forget that. Forget Hatred. Everybody forget it.
Let's talk about something that's awesome.
Super Smash Brothers. That's what's awesome.
You love Super Smash Brothers? Of course you do.
I do.
Yeah.
There was a big Nintendo Direct about it. 50 facts about Smash Brothers, and there were actually 53.
What?
Nintendo impresses.
Nintendo just pulls out all the stops.
Well, I'll stop. So one of the biggest announcements in this Direct was the fact that you can now have 8 players in a match for the Wii U version of Smash Brothers.
What?
8 players. 8 of them. Twice as many as before.
Almost as many as if you played League of Legends.
Watching... Almost. So, if you're wondering, they are including in the Wii U version only some particularly gigantic stages that are actually made with the intent of 8-player battles. So they've planned out for this. There's even versions of regular stages that have been sized up to make more room for 8 players. I believe Battlefield and Final Destination were both confirmed as having sized up versions for the 8-player games. And yeah, like, this is just cool. They've made it into much more... I mean, Smash Brothers... Some people want Smash Brothers to be, like, a really serious fighting game. It never will be. Because that's not what Nintendo wants it to be.
Why would you want that?
I don't know. That's not what Nintendo wants it to be, either. So Nintendo's moving this more into the direction they want it to be, which is to be a fun party game.
Yeah.
And this is a great move ahead for that. Because that's fantastic. There's also a new mode that's like a big board game mode. Which is also going to make a great party game, like a sort of Mario Party-esque
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like
thing.
Mario Party.
Yeah, where you collect characters and power-ups, and as you go through, you collect all the characters, and you battle each other with those characters, and you can steal them from each other, and then when the game ends, you can put all the power-ups you found during the game into the characters you still have, and there's a big battle royale, where everyone has a set number of lives based on how many characters they had at the end. So say you have 3 characters, you have 3 lives, 1 is each of those characters. And you have a big battle royale, and whoever wins that wins it. There's going to be online tournament bracket set up, so you can host a tournament of the game through the online service. There's going to be tons of music. There's going to be a stage builder again, like in Brawl, but way better, because Brawl's stage builder was not very good. This one has way more variety in what you can do and build and everything, and you can use the touchscreen to actually draw in the terrain for the map. So you can build a platform by just drawing a line with the selected platform tool. And it looks like a much faster, much more intuitive, much just better way of doing a stage builder.
The tablet is being used.
It is being used.
Oh my god.
It's great. So all sorts of cool stuff like that. If you want to, go to Nintendo's website, watch the Direct. It's 35 minutes of nonstop neat facts about the game. You can do 2-player for pretty much every mode now as well. Classic mode, All-Star mode, like all the things that even used to be single-player can now be done in co-op. Which is also super cool. All the special Brawl options are coming back. You can customize it and have these wacky matches if you want to. Pretty much everything everyone liked from Brawl and Melee and everything else is coming back in the Wii U version of this game.
Nice.
Which is super terrific to hear. And the most interesting thing. So the game, the full roster is now known because the 3DS version came out and the rosters are the same on both versions. They announced at the end of the Direct that an old favorite from Melee would be coming back in spring of 2015. Oh, and that is Mewtwo.
As downloadable
content.
Yeah.
Now, what they said in the Direct that really irked me is that you'll get him for free. The only way they've said to get him is by getting both versions of the game. And then you will get him for free. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I do not like that at all.
But is there a way to just buy him when you only have one version
They have
of the
not
game?
said anything about that. Which gives me pause.
Because I want to play as him, but I don't want to...
I want Mewtwo as well.
Yeah.
And but I don't want the 3DS version of the game. I have a 3DS, and I just don't want it.
Well, it's not even that, like, I don't want either version, I just wouldn't want both.
Yeah. Like, I want the Wii U version. I don't feel the need to get the 3DS version because I have the Wii U version. And I think, to me, this comes off as $40 downloadable content for one character. Because I don't want...
Yeah,
I don't see any value in owning the DS version. There just isn't any for me.
It's just portable.
And I'm sure I'm not alone in that sentiment. And I know there are a lot of people who plan on buying both versions. Mm-hmm. So lucky them, I guess.
Yeah.
What I find more interesting about this, aside from my disappointment about that, is that the fact that they are doing a downloadable character in Mewtwo means there is potential for more downloadable characters for this game.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to think about. And I know I was a little bit disappointed with some of their choices for the final roster. So that's kind of good news.
You didn't love Wii Fit Trainer?
I really, really don't like Wii Fit Trainer at all, if I'm being honest. I don't like Wii Fit Trainer. I don't like Dark Pit. I don't like Bowser Jr. I think he's a good character addition. I just don't like him.
I just don't like him.
I just really don't like him. I've never liked Lucario, even though we're getting Mewtwo back. There's some things about the roster choices that have irked me. I don't like that Toon Link was put back in again. It's just Wind Waker Link. We don't need two Links.
He was taken out.
Well, I meant they didn't take him out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was not taken out ever. I just don't want him there.
No, see, I assume...
And I know that's kind of selfish of me because I think some people like him, but it's just why we could have better characters than these for a lot of these slots.
We certainly have better characters than Lucario. For real. Damn, Lucario.
Well, at least we're getting Mewtwo back. My only hope now is... So Lucario, when he first came out, was a Mewtwo clone. Yeah. They just gave him Mewtwo's moveset. So I am wondering what Mewtwo's going to play like now. And if they just make him the same, I'm going to be kind of disappointed. Because now they're basically bringing him back as a Lucario clone. It's just oh no.
This $40 different skin for a character that's already in the game.
Yeah, that's... If Mewtwo is a clone character, that's bad, I think. Given that he's downloadable.
I feel like he won't be, but...
I hope not. Ganondorf is still a Captain Falcon clone.
Oh, that's true.
They didn't get rid of him.
Oh, no.
Lucina, one of the new Fire Emblem characters, is just the most blatant Marth clone possible.
Well, I think this is the problem.
You know what actually, go ahead and say everything first.
So this is the problem that Smash has been running into for a while, which is just that their roster is so big and there's kind of only so many fighting character kind of
right. And at the same time, the dev time to give all those characters fully unique movesets is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it does make sense that they have given characters very similar movesets and tweaked them a little bit. What irritates me, I think, about it with some of these clones in the new Super Smash Brothers is the fact that they introduced some very, very different alt costumes for some of the characters. Bowser Jr. is now, on the Wii U version, going to have 8 different costumes, so he can be any one of the Koopa kids from all the other games.
Yeah, that makes
sense.
So
you have, because they would basically play the same if they were in the game, so just make them a different skin. You can play as... Now I'm trying to think of it because I know there's another example of this in the game already. The fact of the matter is, there's alt skins. There's the male and female Wii Fit trainers.
Okay.
There are different versions of Little Mac. There's one that looks like his regular version. There's one that's like a wireframe version from one of the old games and stuff. So they have very varied costumes compared to how it used to be. That actually changed the character's physical proportions in some way. Then they still have characters like Lucina and Marth who play exactly the same and are separate characters. When they could have very easily just made one of them an alt skin for the other.
Yeah.
Or Pit and Dark Pit, who literally look exactly the same and play almost the same. Why is Dark Pit not just a costume for Pit?
Yeah, I always thought it was weird that they would do that.
Fox and Falco, even.
Yeah.
Although Falco is a bit different, more different than some of these other characters compared to Fox. But still, it's
Yeah.
And you couldn't do it with Ganondorf and Captain Falcon.
No.
Because then Ganondorf would either be way too fast or Captain Falcon would be way too slow. But it's upsetting. At the same time, there are a lot of cool new additions who are unique. Like, you have Shulk from Xenoblade, you have Duck Hunt Dog.
Duck Hunt Dog!
Wii Fit Trainer, I don't like her, but at least she's a unique character.
Yeah.
Mega Man, totally unique.
Yeah, Mega Man.
And that's awesome. Pac-Man, too, is completely unique.
That is true.
And he's, so, I mean, at least there's something there.
All-skin Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man.
Ooh. I wonder if that's already in the game.
Probably.
I would be amazed.
All you need to do is put a bow on it.
And lipstick.
And lipstick.
And some eyelashes.
So, my only thing I'm concerned about with this 8-player thing...
Yes.
If you don't have a big enough TV, you're going to look so small.
It's going to be rough.
That screen is going to zoom way out.
They actually brought that up in the Direct, and they were like... They showed one of the screens all the way zoomed out on one of these huge maps. They were like, these are maps that we kind of couldn't put into the 3DS version because everyone's characters became like a pixel big. Like,
oh, no.
And I have heard some people complain that on the bigger maps on the 3DS version, like, the characters do get really small sometimes already. And that's without even this.
Yeah.
So it's a viable concern. Like, if you have, like, a smaller TV, that's going to be bad. It's going to be tough.
You better buy a bigger television.
There's some weird stuff going on with some of the new stages, too. There's a Donkey Kong one with barrels, and the stage has 2 planes.
A Donkey Kong stage with barrels?
No, but don't...
This is crazy.
Don't
this
patronize
has never been
me.
Done.
Don't patronize me. It's got two tiers. Like, there's a background and a foreground, and you can fight on both, and the barrels launch you back and forth between them.
Okay.
So the stage has, like, a 3D thing going on.
For the 3DS.
For the 3D... But no, it's only on the Wii U.
What? This is a missed opportunity.
Right? But, so that's interesting, but at the same time, it's like, this is going to be weird.
That's going to be weird.
Like, that's going to be weird.
So we're running a little low on time, although we started late, so I was going to try and go till 10:05.
Yeah, we still only got about 10 minutes, though.
I would really like to talk about 343.
Yes. Yeah.
We could talk about
We can't talk about Link's motorcycle.
It's just...
It's just no time.
That news is too big.
It's too big.
We can't hope to cover it.
If you need to know about Link's motorcycle, just go to Polygon and look for the article about Link's motorcycle. You'll find it.
All right.
So yeah, let's talk about Halo, the Halo Man collection, and its huge update
With Mr. Chef.
With Mr. Chef. Halo Man.
This is an article from the Xbox official magazine website.
Yep.
TotalXbox.com.
TotalXbox.com.
You could tell it's not biased toward Xbox because it's not flattering to them at all. But this is from October 20th. And yeah, so the title of this article is 343 founder apologizes unreservedly for Halo, the Master Chief Collection's 20 gigabyte update.
Yeah.
So the gist of what's going on here is that the Halo Anniversary, which is the reskinned version of the first 4 Halo games,
yes.
Halo 1 through 4, is coming out very soon. And they have just announced and apologized for 343 Studios, the ones who did this reskin and everything.
Yes.
Have just been like, listen, guys, we gotta tell you, gotta break the news. There's gonna be day one DLC for this game to make it work, and it's gonna be 20 gigabytes. That's crazy.
They claim that this is because the game is supposed to have a unified interface, which allows you to, on the fly, switch between any of the titles included, as much as you want. And they claim that that would not have been a problem for digital copies, obviously.
Yeah.
But on disc copies, there was no way they could do that. They're claiming that there's no way they would have had to ship on multiple discs, which would mean that if you were on the menu and you selected a game that wasn't on the disc you had in, you'd have to switch discs. And that's what they wanted to avoid here. Which I guess I kind of get, but at the same time, that's a big download for a disc-based game that you're buying.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot.
And they were just like, it's more practical than shipping it on multiple discs.
Is it?
Yeah, like...
Is it more practical?
Couldn't we just have another disc? That's not a big deal. Like, there are
lots of games have multiple discs.
Mass Effect. I mean, not Mass Effect 1, but Mass Effect 2 and 3 had multiple discs.
Yeah.
And that didn't bother anybody.
Yeah. It's seemingly just because they wanted this unified interface thing. And I mean, I guess you can do custom playlists of levels from each of the titles in the collection. So you can do, like, I'm going to do this level from Halo 1, and then this level from Halo 3, and then this level from Halo 2. and they didn't want people to have to switch discs in the middle of that.
But we also know, with a lot of these games, especially now, you can buy the disc and then download the game to your hard drive.
Yes, you can.
And then you don't need the disc anymore.
That's a great point.
So,
because Xbox was the ones who first let you do that with any game you wanted.
Yeah.
That's a really good point you just made.
So why wouldn't it just come on 2 discs and have an install thing?
Yeah.
Because
having people download this through the internet is, like, ridiculous. Because what if your internet cuts out in the middle of a 20 gigabyte download?
It's a big download.
How long is this going to take? Like, how long is this going to take?
And also, this I think this article mentions, day one, everyone's going to be downloading that, so those servers are going down.
Oh, yeah.
They're almost certainly going down.
This is going to be a problem. And people with digital copies will be fine. In theory.
People with digital copies are going to be laughing while they're playing.
They're going to be yucking it up with all their
chefs,
Mr. Chefs.
Mr. Chefs. Their Mr. Chef custom level arrangement. I don't know why you play any levels after Halo 1, but that's fine. I don't know. Maybe there's something from Halo 2 that was worth playing.
There's a couple good levels in the others. I didn't play 4. There's a lot of good levels in Halo 1, though.
Yeah, like all of them.
Like most... No, not the library.
I like the library.
I hate that level.
Okay.
Get out of my face, man. With your library.
It's fair.
Those snow levels were the illest, and you know that.
Oh, so good.
They were so good. They were so good. And the one where you drop onto the island. That one also was wicked good.
Oh, yeah.
Man, now I actually want to play Halo 1.
Dude.
This is a weird feeling.
We have to buy this anniversary collection, but...
And fail to download it. It'll make it all the sweeter.
Can I real quick wax nostalgic?
You absolutely can.
Those snow levels, it was one of the first times I played a shooter where I was like, oh man, levels can be this big. Because there's a level where you're on there's like a gorge or something.
Yeah, it's big, like these big ice canyons.
Yeah, and you're on a platform up above and you get in a Banshee, and then I was like, oh wait, I can access like different parts of the level from here.
Yeah. You can just fly down.
Yeah.
And land and walk around.
And then get to a whole different part. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy.
In a few parts of the level, you're like supposed to do that even. It was nuts.
And it's like, in a lot of games that came out before that, there was level design in which you could do stuff like that. Like the Banjo-Kazooie series comes to mind.
Yeah.
But in shooters, I had never seen that before.
So big. Such big levels. And you just got to freely explore it. And work your way through it, too. It's crazy. Anyway... So yeah, so this guy, the 343 Studios guy, is like incredibly apologetic.
As well, he should be.
Yeah, but it's crazy. He's just like, I'm so sorry, like for doing this. He also says that they are continually looking at ways to reduce this inconvenience. That he personally has a pretty lame internet and is doing everything via Wi-Fi. But his immediate installation and play were all pretty buttery. Let's hope that everybody else's installations are buttery.
Pretty buttery.
Pretty buttery. You know. So
I want to use that now.
We're pretty much out of time. You didn't really have a full review.
Okay, I purchased the game Gauntlet, the new Gauntlet game, but I have not finished it yet because I've been super busy this week. So
given that, and we're pretty much out of time.
Yeah, but I'm thinking next week I'm probably going to talk about that. You're probably going to be talking about Bayonetta 2.
Bayonetta 2, which I just picked up today and will hopefully have beaten by next week's show.
So probably next week we'll do a double review.
Oh yeah.
Get pumped.
Get pumped for Gauntlet and that Bayo. Since we have like a minute or two left, I'm going to talk about this neat little Dark Souls 2 mod.
Oh, this is neat. Yeah, I like this a lot.
So Dark Souls 2 on the PC got a cool little mod. One of their fans made that is a YouTube guy on YouTube. He is Benzoine Gum, and he has made a mod that allows players to freeze the camera in its zoomed-in state when you are using like binoculars in the game, which pretty much allows you to play the whole game in first-person view. This is really neat. Because this game was built to be played in third person. You play it in third person, and it plays in a very specific way. Playing this game in first person would, number one, be really tough and really different. And it makes me wish I had the PC version so I could try it.
Yeah.
Because I just want to feel it. I just want to see what it's like. You can find videos of it, and it's just like, whoa, it looks like Quake or something, but with only melee combat. It looks really cool. So if you have the PC version and you want a nice challenge and you love the Souls games, but maybe you've beaten it a couple times, beat the whole thing in first person. See how it goes.
You know, this actually reminds me, there was another mod that came out this week, which is the opposite for a different game. It's, somebody did a mod for Borderlands, the pre-sequel.
Oh, yeah?
That turns it from first person to third person.
Wow.
And then it goes back to first when you aim down the sights of your gun.
That's interesting, too.
And I was like, ooh, I want to play that.
Yeah. So this is like all these person mods.
Changing your people.
Changing your personage. So yeah. And with that, we're pretty much out of time.
So you've been listening to Don't Copy That Floppy. I've been your host, Lex.
And I've been Dan.
You can find us on Facebook, Don't Copy That Floppy, Twitter, @DCTF Podcast, Steam,
Don't Copy That Floppy.
iTunes,
Don't Copy That Floppy.
Or chipit.net. We also have an archive up there, too. It's just, you can go to the front pages, Don't Copy That Floppy.
Any of those many
right
places. Please go to all of them and enjoy our company.
Please enjoy our company.
Please partake.
We'll have some wine chilled for you when you arrive.
And remember, everybody, don't copy that floppy.